let's talk about getting ranked in whatever they're calling it this week, right? There really are 4 pieces to getting it ranked well. So the first, obviously, is having the profile optimized. That's there, the G in the middle there, having it optimized, and we'll talk through some of that today. On the left, with all the arrows and things, that's kind of a symbol of something called citations. Citations are mentions of your business around the web. For instance, your Facebook profile, your Better Business profile, Foursquare, Yelp. There's tons of these citation sites, and we'll talk more about that as well. On-page SEO, so optimizing your website so that it ranks and sends the right signals about your location, things of that sort, actually affects your Google Business profile. And then lastly, reviews. How many reviews you have, how current they are, how good they are, from 0 to 5, or 1 to 5, I guess. So lots of different pieces of the puzzle in order to get it to work. But first thing you have to do is claim your business profile. So let me skip forward and then I'll jump back to this slide. Google.com/business is where you would start there. If you go there and you see this Manage Now button in the upper corner, that means you probably already have this set up. If you don't see that, then you'll probably have something like a sign up button or something. But here are some tips on things that you can do. Make sure, obviously, that you have a login, that you're able to get into your account. It is possible that your business profile exists on Google, even though you've never set it up. So Google, pulls in this huge database of businesses, they put it up there, and then you can claim that business. So one of the things you can do is just go to Google, type in your business name, and if it says you manage this business, you're golden. If it says claim this business, or something like, are you the owner? Claim this business. Then that means that you need to claim it, or you have claimed it with a different Google login. One of those 2 scenarios is possible. So definitely make sure that you figure out what your login is for that platform. Update your company name to just have the company name. It should match what's on your business license. Exactly. Obviously, website address, have local phone numbers, upload photos. We're going to talk about some of these things in a minute here, but these are some really good tips on things that you can do to start optimizing this profile a little bit. So as I mentioned, use your real company name on your listing because that is going to get you in trouble if you try to add additional keywords. That will not be a good thing, and you could potentially get flagged, suspended, and even removed from their platform. Once you get in, there should be a button. After you search for your business, there should be an edit profile button. Get in there and just fill everything out. Fill out the about our business, the name of the business, some sort of description. Obviously, this is an opportunity for you to put in some keywords. Don't make it spammy, but put in a description of your business, what you do, when you opened, obviously, contact info, that sort of stuff as well. A couple best practices. All of our clients use call tracking to differentiate their lead sources. So if somebody goes to the web and they type in window treatments near me, right? And they see your business as one of the 3 options and they click on the button to call you, you'll know that phone number, that lead came because you've had your Google Business profile up there. So we put a different phone number specifically on Google Business profiles. Update and geotag your photos. Add new photos consistently. There's something called Google Posts we'll talk about. And then, of course, respond to the reviews that you do get. That will really help as well. There's also a section for people to ask questions. Are you open on Saturday, right? You could actually just answer that question. Yes, as a matter of fact, our showroom's open from 8 to 12 or whatever it happens to be. When it comes to the call tracking, you can see we put the call tracking number first, and then we put the real phone number whatever your actual business line is in there in the secondary spot. So from a setup standpoint, that's how you would do that. There is some chatter in the advertising agency world, I guess you could say digital marketing world, around geotagging photos. Some people say it's not worth your time. Some people say it is. It doesn't affect one way or the other in a huge amount. So maybe it's worth your time, maybe not. But we use a tool called 𝗖𝗟𝗔𝗦𝗦. Basically, any photos that our clients give us, we geotag that photo to a specific location, a zip code, a subdivision, intersection of two streets, something like that related to their business. And then we upload that photo so it has that geotagged information behind the scenes in it. Again, I wouldn't spend too much time on this. And quite honestly, if you're taking photos of projects, they're probably going to already be geotagged. So your phones do it by default. Some cameras do, some do not. But if you're taking local pictures, then it's probably not an issue because it's already been geotagged in the back end through the phone. Then there's a section here for photos. Obviously, upload photos. You can see the add photos button there. I think there's also a button here for add an update, which you can put photos in here as well. This is more for status news type updates. A good place to put your blogs if you're putting out content on a regular basis. You can also put things, we're sponsoring the T-ball team. We have a car wash that we're sponsoring, any of that kind of stuff. All that stuff can go into the add posts area as well. And Google rewards people for using their platform. So you definitely want to consider doing this. I think on my previous slide, it said every 10 days at least. So every week or two, make sure that you're updating it. Obviously, if you can more often, that's even better. But I'm sure a lot of you are busy running your business, right? And maybe don't have time to stop and add something to Google on a regular basis. But do be consistent about it. Every week or two would be great just to have some sort of new thing rotating through there. Reply to reviews. So when somebody leaves you a review, especially if it's a 4 or 5 star review, make sure you're saying thank you, right? One tip that I shared last month is to use ChatGPT. So it does get kind of monotonous saying, hey, thanks, Andrew, in this case. We really enjoyed working with you or something like that. You can use ChatGPT, just copy and paste Andrew's review into there and say, hey, help me create a reply to this. And then copy and paste the reply back in here to the system. So consider using AI to help you along with this as you get more and more reviews so that they don't sound so monotonous, I guess. But definitely you want to reply to reviews. Again, Google rewards you if you're using their platform. So you definitely want to do that. From time to time, we do get negative reviews. And there's 2 things that can happen here. If it was a legit 1-star review because you just messed up, right? That happens from time to time. I would, again, use ChatGPT. Plug it into there, explain the situation, help me write some sort of reply. What I would not do is see the 1-star review and immediately go back and start typing, right? Because we're mad, we're angry. Oh, yeah, that kind of stuff. Let it stew for 24 hours, then use ChatGPT to come up with something a little more polite as a reply. It's also possible that, you maybe you just messed up and maybe they didn't tell you or it was kind of like a sabotage thing. Oh, sorry, Mrs. Jones, we didn't realize that had happened. We'd be glad to come back out and fix that. You go back out and fix it and ask Mrs. Jones if she would mind changing it to a 4 or 5 star review at that time. That definitely is a possibility as well. And probably worth your time if it's not a huge thing. The other thing that could happen is something like this, where this was a client who got a 1-star review and the lead never came through. We could only surmise in this situation that they had set up an appointment with a different company and then somehow ended up on his page and left him a review. So in this case, it was not valid. So you can click on the 3 dots there, click flag as inappropriate. you can choose from some of these different things. Now, if it's bullying, harassment, cuss words, anything like that, they'll take them down pretty quickly. If it was not a valid thing, such as this one, then you just choose it from this list and say this definitely was not a customer of ours. That situation is probably the hardest to get the review removed, but just provide every documentation that you can about the fact that it's not one of your customers, and hopefully they'll take it down. Obviously, if it's one of the other things there, they'll take them down pretty quickly. So also, in this area, there is a button for performance. So you can kind of see over time how your profile is working out. If you're getting more clicks, less clicks, if people are clicking the call to action, you can see how many visits, how many people requested directions, all that kind of stuff is in this system as well. So some things that could be hurting your rankings in the map area. One of the big things really is you need an office in the city that you're targeting. So proximity is a big piece of this. For some of our clients, we've got people that work from home, right? That makes it a little more tough because you have to list your address, your home address, or you have to rent some sort of location. And a lot of times people live a little bit further away from the center of the city, so that throws off their rankings a little bit. So best case scenario, have an office as close to the center of that city as possible. Definitely don't spam with any fake locations. Things like co-working spaces maybe are okay if you really have, a legitimate cubicle at one of those places. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Things like a PO box, UPS store, those types of places don't work anymore. So that's not going to help. Another thing is inconsistent name, address, phone number. We'll talk about this in a minute. We call that the NAP. But if they're inconsistent, then you're missing some opportunities there. Spamming in your city or name or categories. We showed you an example of that earlier. We'll come across a couple more here. Reviews. Quite honestly, this is just a quantity game. The more reviews, the better you can. And then I've already mentioned kind of the home office scenario as well.